XRP holders, the moment has arrived. The crypto market in 2025 is no longer the same as it was just a few short years ago, and yet here we are standing at the edge of something historic. XRP has emerged not as the underdog but as the contender, the altcoin leader that no one can ignore anymore. And while Bitcoin still holds the crown as digital gold and Ethereum keeps its place as the backbone of DeFi, XRP is carving out a lane so powerful, so disruptive, so undeniable that investors everywhere are whispering the same thing. Could this be the year that XRP takes its rightful seat at the head of the altcoin table? But let me ask you this, are you ready for the storm that is coming? Because this is not just another price pump, this is not just another headline about whales moving tokens around, this is the story of regulatory victories, of global adoption, of banks shifting gears, of massive transfers lighting up the blockchain, and of a community that has refused to back down no matter the pressure. Picture it, the year is 2025 and markets are shifting at lightning speed. The SEC battle is fading into history, but its scars remain. Investors remember the fear, the uncertainty, the sleepless nights watching charts bleed red, and yet now XRP stands on the other side, stronger, battle-tested, resilient. But with resilience comes responsibility, and with responsibility comes pressure, the kind of pressure that can either forge diamonds or crush those unprepared. So as XRP flirts with levels once thought impossible, as it builds strength at a foundation of $3, as technical indicators flash signs of something bigger brewing, the question that keeps haunting every holder is simple: will XRP lead the altcoin market into a new golden era, or will this surge end in heartbreak for those who believe too soon? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you will see the pieces align. The whale moves, the technical analysis, the regulatory wins, and the adoption roadmap that could make or break XRP in 2025. And just when you think you have the answer, I will show you a cliffhanger so powerful you will be left questioning whether this entire run is the beginning of history or the calm before the crash. XRP is not just another altcoin in 2025, it is the survivor of a war with regulators, a coin that was written off time and time again, and yet here it is becoming the centerpiece of conversations among analysts, traders, and even politicians. Whales are watching carefully, institutions are taking positions quietly, and retail investors are holding their breath waiting for confirmation that the years of patience were not wasted. Whale data is critical here, because when you trace the blockchain you see patterns emerge, massive transfers lighting up from exchanges to unknown wallets, liquidity providers shuffling reserves in amounts that make ordinary investors shake, and Coinbase, Binance, and even Ripple affiliated accounts moving XRP in ways that spark both hope and fear. Each move whispers a story. Is it accumulation? Is it distribution? Or is it preparation for something bigger? And when we look deeper at whale activity in the first quarter of 2025, we see a surge in internal transactions. Nearly 300 million XRP quietly repositioned in just a few weeks, signals that the whales are preparing for volatility. And if whales are positioning, smaller investors should be paying attention, because history tells us that whales rarely move without a reason. On the charts, technical analysts are eyeing the bull flag pattern forming with laser focus. Support at $2.89 has already proven resilient. Buyers continue to defend this level like it is life or death, and each time bears attempt to break it down, buyers come back stronger. This creates what analysts call springboard pressure, the kind of pressure that builds silently until it explodes into a breakout. The resistance sits at $3.20, the line that everyone is watching, because if XRP can push through and hold above $3.20, it unlocks the next levels of $4, $5, and yes, even $7 in the medium term. But failure to break above $3.20 could be disastrous, because rejection here could drag XRP back to $2.75 and even lower if momentum shifts. Traders know this pattern well. It is the emotional knife edge, one side filled with hope and victory, the other filled with despair and liquidation. And for XRP holders who have lived through the SEC lawsuit, who have seen the price suppressed by regulatory fear, the emotions tied to this moment are heavier than most people can imagine. But technical analysis is only part of the story. Because in 2025 the macro context cannot be ignored. The Federal Reserve is caught in a delicate balancing act. Inflation is cooling but not gone, interest rates remain higher than markets want, and liquidity is tightening across risk assets, crypto included. Yet within this environment XRP is showing resilience, climbing even as traditional markets wobble, signaling that something deeper than macro is fueling this momentum. Add to this the regulatory clarity that XRP now enjoys in the United States after years of battle. Clarity that gives institutional investors confidence to step in, clarity that removes the fear of sudden delistings and exchange crackdowns, and suddenly the market dynamics shift, because when regulation favors a coin, that coin does not just rise in price, it rises in legitimacy, and legitimacy is the doorway to adoption. And adoption is the real story here. Ripple is no longer just talking about partnerships, it is executing them. Banks in Asia are using RippleNet for cross-border payments, European institutions are testing XRP for liquidity corridors, and whispers are spreading that Middle Eastern governments are exploring settlement solutions with XRP at the center. Every new partnership strengthens the case that XRP is not just speculation but infrastructure. The Ripple roadmap for 2025 is aggressive, with expansion into CBDC solutions, integration into remittance markets, and pilot programs that use XRP to replace outdated systems still relying on SWIFT. And while the average investor might not see these headlines as exciting, those who understand how financial infrastructure works know that these moves are tectonic, the kind of shifts that may not grab attention today but will dominate the future. Still, the emotional side of this story cannot be ignored, because every XRP holder carries scars from the past, memories of watching Bitcoin surge while XRP lagged, memories of endless delays in the lawsuit, memories of being mocked for holding. And now with XRP finally breaking through the noise, emotions are raw, some are euphoric, others are fearful that this is too good to be true, and in markets emotions drive decisions as much as charts do. So we return to the question, is XRP truly emerging as the altcoin leader of 2025, or is this another setup for heartbreak? To answer that we must consider scenarios. Scenario 1 sees XRP breaking through 320 with conviction, drawing in institutional flows, igniting FOMO among retail, and quickly pushing the price toward $4 and $5 in a parabolic surge. Scenario 2 sees rejection at resistance, a cascade of liquidations, and XRP slipping back under $3 sparking fear and selling pressure, and Scenario 3 sees sideways consolidation as whales accumulate silently before the next big move. Each scenario carries weight, but what matters most is that XRP is no longer ignored. It is no longer the forgotten altcoin in the shadows of Bitcoin and Ethereum. It is a coin with regulatory clarity, with real-world adoption, with whale activity, signaling massive stakes, and with a community that refuses to let go. This is why in 2025 XRP is emerging as the altcoin leader, not just in price but in presence. But here is the cliffhanger. Just as charts flash bullish signs, just as banks expand testing, just as retail finally starts to believe, whispers from the whale community suggest that a massive coordinated move is coming. A transfer so large it could either confirm XRP's role as leader or shake the market to its core, and the date of that move may already be set. The only question left for holders is simple: when the candles explode in either direction, will you be ready? Or will you be caught watching from the sidelines? Leaves uncertainty around whether XRP would actually benefit from a similar strategy. To explore the idea further, Google Gemini was asked to outline possible outcomes if Ripple eliminated its entire $35.6 billion escrow balance and the market reacted with bullish momentum. Gemini described the scenario as a potential game-changer, pointing out that basic economics suggests when supply shrinks but demand stays the same or grows, prices tend to rise. Gemini compared the possibility to Shiba Inu's explosive run when Vitalik Buterin burned a massive portion of SHIB, creating a supply shock that fueled a 420% rally as investors piled in. Currently XRP trades near $2.82. Gemini explained that destroying Ripple's escrow would reduce the total supply to the existing $64.362 billion in circulation, instantly making the asset more scarce.